Hello friends, welcome to this video in which I am going to take you through how to use Excel to solve some of the complex problems which are asked in the portfolio manager certification examination, which is the series 21B exam. So here in this particular video, you can see that I have taken up this question which is related to portfolios managers allocation of investments of bonds. Okay, so let me first take you through this problem. So an educational institution approaches the PMS provider for managing a fund of 50 lakhs. The investment horizon is 10 years. The portfolio manager sets up a portfolio of two bonds with duration of 10 years as on 1st January. On 1st January, bond A was selling with rupees 750 with a face value of 1000, paying coupon of 8% once per year and maturing in 25 years. So we'll note down the details of this bond, which is bond A. So this particular bond, which is bond A, okay, has certain features. So first of all, it is a bond with a maturity of 25 years. That's what we can see. So we'll take two random dates to define its maturity. So let us take 1st January 2001 as one date. So this would obviously be the issue date. So this is your issue date. Then 25 years from here, which is 1st January 2026 would be its maturity date. Why? Because there is a gap of 26 years, 25 years between both the dates. So that's your maturity date. Now, what it says is that it has a face value of 1000, okay, which is what we will first note down. So 1000 happens to be the face value. Okay, now this is your face value, right? The price, which is very clearly mentioned, is 750, so we'll put it here as 750, which is the price. Then we have the coupon, and the coupon, it's explicitly mentioned, it is 8%. And this being the coupon as 8%, there is a mention of frequency of the payment also, which we will put as frequency as 1. Okay. Now, this is the feature of the first bond, which is bond A. Okay, then we have the second bond, which is bond B, right? So if we look at bond B, we are seeing that bond B was selling at 690 with a face value of 1000. So the face value of the bond is 1000, but the price is 690, correct? Now, if you see coupon is 5%, okay, and it has a maturity of 30 years. So we will write 1st January 2001, which is an assumed start date, and then we add 30 years to this. So 1st January 2031, right? So now we have got that also, and both the bonds are having frequency of 1 only, right? Now the question being asked here is that if the future 30 years would have a flat yield, how many bonds of A and B would have been purchased by the bond manager? So that's the question that we have to look at. And we have to also look at the fact that while these bonds are for 25 years and 30 years, which is what is the data here, the investment horizon is 10 years, and he is also setting up a duration of 10 years. Okay, so that's the objective of the fund manager, which is where he wants to set up the duration as 10 years. So the first thing that we will do is that we will calculate the yield of both the bonds as of now, and once we calculate yield, we can calculate duration and then set up as per the requirement of the fund manager. So how do we calculate yield? We'll go to the function in Excel, which is fx. We click on the function, and then we will go to the financials, and in financials we will find the yield function by clicking on y on the button on the keypad, right? So the yield function is open, has opened here. Now to find out the yield, we will need to put the settlement date, which is nothing but the issue date. So we have put it here. Then we'll put the maturity date, which is this particular date for bond A. Then we'll put the rate. Rate is nothing but the coupon rate. So you go and click on the column of coupon. Okay, price has been given as 750. Redemption has been given as 1000. Now please remember that the price and redemptions have been given in 1000 and 750. In the Excel, the hard coded value is 100. Okay, so face value is taken as 100 in the yield formula. So we will have to divide the redemption by 10, and we will have to also divide the price by 10, right? So we will put it as 10 and 10 division. Why? Because the face value in Excel, which is considered, is 100. It's not 1000. So to bring 1000 back to 100 as per the formula, we will have to divide it by 10. Now, having done that, we will scroll it down and we'll put frequency as 1, okay, which is what is the frequency, and basis we'll take it as 4, which is typically used for the government bonds. So you can take any basis, but here I am taking it as 4. Basis can be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So we will get an yield, and the yield that we are getting here, this yield works out to be 10%. Okay, so we have an yield of approximately 10.96%. That's the yield that we got for the first bond. Now we will do it for the second bond, and I'm doing it repeatedly, and I'm repeating the same process so that you it will be easier for you to understand this, right? Otherwise I could have just dragged the columns and got the yield for the second bond also, right? So let me start for the second one. So we'll again go to the function and we'll go to yield. In yield we'll put the settlement date, first date, maturity date, select it from here. We'll put the rate, which is nothing but the coupon rate, which is given as 5%. We'll put the price is 690. We'll put the redemption is nothing but the face value. And now we will divide it by 10. The first one by 10 and the second one also by 10. Again, please remember that in Excel, the face value by default is 100. Now we'll drag it down. We'll put frequency as 1. Okay, and we'll put basis as 4. Basis is nothing but the day count convention which is followed to calculate the coupon. So we got the basis. Now we have also got the yield. So yield has been found, okay, for both the bonds. One is 10.96 and second is 7.67. Why did we find yield? Because then we can find out what is the duration of each of the bonds, and then set the duration equal to 10 and then allocate the bonds. So let us find out the duration now. We'll find the duration. How to find duration? To find duration, again go to function. Use the function duration from the sheet, which is basically you go to financials and then you get the duration. Let me repeat this for you. You go to the function, you go to duration. So duration is given here, okay? So you will find duration in the financial function. So you have got the duration. Now once you have got the duration, you will again write settlement date, you will write the maturity date, which is given here, then you will write the coupon is 8%. Now you have to input yield here in this function, and you know why we found yield now. So you put yield here, then you will put a frequency which is 1, okay, and then you will straight away put basis as 4. So you will get the duration, and duration happens to be 9.79023. Similarly, you will work on duration of this bond also, right? So again you go to the function, which is what I have done. In the function you select the financial functions and then you type D. When you type D, you will reach to duration by scrolling down from the keyboard. So we have reached to duration here, and then we enter and the pop-up screen opens. So what do? We write the issue date as the settlement date. We will put the maturity date here. We will write coupon happens to be 5%. We will write yield is given as 7.67, which we calculated. Frequency is 1. Remember, the payment is not semi-annual, it is annual. And then we'll write basis as 4. So we have got now what is called as the duration of the second bond. So we have two bonds. One bond has a duration of 9.7 and the second bond has a duration of 13.47. So what do we do now? Now we find out how many bonds have to be invested into, right? So how do we work on it? So we'll work on it this way. So to find out the duration of the portfolio of the bonds, remember we have two bonds here, bond A and bond B. So we can find out the portfolio duration. So how do we find out the portfolio duration? So we will write bond A and bond B. So let me put it here rather than putting it here. I will put it, this value here. I delete it. I put it here A and B. So two bonds are there, right? Now I will take a random weightage initially, any weightage, right? So I have to take just a random weightage of the bonds, which we will be setting later on. So I put this as 40% and this as 60%. So the total obviously will be what we call as 100% because there is a weightage. The other way to do it is we can write here as 1 minus 40%, which will give us 60%, right? So we get 60% that way also. So we have the weightage. Now we know the duration, which is what we have to pick up from the calculation above. So we take this as the duration, okay, and we take this as the duration also for this, right? So what is the duration of the portfolio? If you ask me, the duration of the portfolio now will be this multiplied by the duration that we calculated. So we take this column, okay. So we have I'm sorry, we will take 40%, which is the weightage, and we'll multiply it with the duration and we'll get this as the value. Then similarly, we will multiply 60% with this duration value which has been given here, right? And we'll get the value as this much, right? So what we did here was we basically multiplied two columns. The first column is the 40% and the second column is this value, right? So duration value, which is anyway written here. And what we did further was we multiplied 60% with the duration value, which is this much, though it is written below also, right? But since it is not visible on the screen, I did it that way. So the portfolio duration becomes equivalent to this plus this. Now remember, my portfolio duration has come out to be 11.99, but I have to set that duration equivalent to 10 because it's saying that portfolio manager sets up a portfolio of two bonds with duration of 10 years. So what is the duration that I have to set? I have to set duration as 10, right? So this is what I'm supposed to set. So how will I set this? So to set this duration, I will use a function which is called as goal seek. So there is a function, or not a function, actually a functionality, which is called as goal seek. So how will I use the goal seek? So I will go to data. Within data, I will go to what if analysis, and in what if analysis, I will select goal seek. Now goal seek says that you have to set the cell, which is this cell, okay, to the value which is this value, right? Why this value? Because you want to set the duration equivalent to 10. So first of all, let me do this activity again for you so that you understand this in a better way. So we go to, in the toolbar, we go to data. In data, we go to what if analysis. In what if analysis, we select the goal seek. Now in goal seek, the first column is you want to set this duration. So you will select this value and you want to select it, set it to 10. Okay, why? Because the fund manager wants to set up the duration as 10, and this is what we have written here also. By changing which cell, you are going to change this 40% cell. Basically, you want to reallocate, right? So you select this 40% and then you say okay. The moment you say okay, what it does is the function itself gives you that solution, and the solution that you had got from the function, okay, is what I'm repeating again for your benefit. So you will be working this way. You will be going to data, you will be going to what if analysis, and in what if analysis you will go to goal seek. In the goal seek, you will select this value because this is your duration portfolio assumed duration, which you want to set to 10. So you will write it as 10, and then you will be writing by managing this cell, right? So the moment you do it, okay, it reallocates your portfolio, which works out to be basically 94% weightage being given to what we will call as your bond A, and 6% weightage being given to what we will call as the bond B. Okay. So having done that, okay, now we will see whether it is 94% precisely or something less. So we increase the decimal value and we get it as a 94.3. And we will also increase this decimal value to see what it is. So it is 5.7. So bond A should have 94% weightage. Bond B should have 5%, 5.7% weightage. And that is what will set your duration to 10. Now that you have set duration to 10, what should you do? So you will go for exact purchase of the bonds. So bond A, total amount is 50 lakhs, which is what fund manager has. So out of 50 lakhs, the fund manager will allocate, okay, 94% to this. So fund manager will allocate this much money. This is your bond A allocation. Okay, remember this. Okay. Now, what is your bond B allocation? Because bond B has got only weightage of around 5.7%. So that allocation has to work. So we will see this multiplied by 5.7%. So this is the allocation in bond B. Now looking at the price, we will find out number of bonds. How many bonds to be purchased? So number of bonds that we want to purchase, we will put it very simply like this. Okay. We will write this value multiplied by the price of the bond. So price of the bond is this much. So you get to see 6286 and then this value divided by the price of the bond B, which is this much. So you get 412.84. So what is the answer that you will select? You will select the answer which is very clear, 6287 and 413, right? So the answer for this question will be A, because this is the bond that you need to buy. These many bonds you need to buy. I hope this video has given you an understanding of how to solve this kind of a problem in Excel. Please do like this video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for your time.